Okay, so you all know that people eat this kind of food the most. Once again, that's my swap bag. I'd encourage you to start doing that. If there's nothing else you leave me tonight, so you get a bag, stalk of celery, medium carrot, 2 radishes, 6 tomatoes. Pardon me? Okay, 6 tomatoes, a wedge of bell pepper, if you don't have it. And green pepper is the worst of the two. Enjoy avocados. Don't overcook your food. Avoid French fries. Try to eat raw, sauteed, steamed. Green is best. Okay, so now when you go downstairs and you're going to buy food like I did on the way here today, you want to buy food that has the number 9 on it. That's organic. So it's going to be like, this is standard. It's 403L.
Okay.
So number 8 is genetically engineered. Number 9 is organic. All other numbers are conventional or standard. I'd encourage you to do as much 9 that you can, that your budget will allow you to have. It's going to be right on the label.
Oh, I see. Is it end in 9 or?
It starts at 9. 9 is organic, 8 is genetically engineered, which you will not find in the store. And when you go to a different store sometimes, you want to minimize your conventional. But if you're going to buy like an avocado, you can peel the avocado. There's certain foods. I'll answer your question at the end. So, okay, so a hidden factor. How many of you watched Dr. Oz? About a month ago, Dr. Oz talked about parasites. 60 million Americans have parasites. Parasites could be a reason some of you have gluten sensitivity also, because the parasites could hang out in your colon. So you do have a history of wild game, third world country visitation. Do you eat sushi? Do you eat pork? Do you have a cat at home? Drink water from a contaminated source. Let me tell you what water from a contaminated source means. You go hiking. When you go hiking, there's a stream, and it looks so refreshing, like you're watching a movie. And you put your mouth and you drink the water from the stream. That is not a good idea, because upstream, an animal could have urinated or defecated in the stream, and you just ate their organisms. It's kind of disgusting, but that, you know, if you want your grain, you can screw somebody up for their whole lifetime, by the way, because of that. No stream drinking. Just tell me what to do. You may want to have an essential fatty acid blood spot test. Or take at least a tablespoon of flax oil every day and get some marine oil. You want vitamin D. I take about 4,000 international units of D every day. We use a product that has glutathione in it. That helps liver health. Turmeric reduces inflammation. They have turmeric downstairs you can put on your salad. Marshmallow root, believe it or not, was originally designed, marshmallow was really a digestive aid. Slippery elm will help digestive distress. Licorice is for your adrenal gland. L-glutamine is quite commonly deficient. L-glutamine. Quite commonly deficient in a lot of people. If you go home and look at your CO2 on your blood test, it's a body signal to me that you need
How much?
L-glutamine. About 500 milligrams, up to 6 grams a day. This last one is important. Probiotics. Because as hard as all of us try, we're all exposed to herbicides and pesticides. So I think it's a good idea maybe to start doing a probiotic on a regular basis. The probiotic will recolonate your colon. You see, if you listen to how I was explaining all this to you, most of this is a colon issue. Okay, poor digestion. So you want to recolonate your colon. So let me finish this up and then we'll tie all of it together for you even more. So this is an essential fatty acid blood spot test of someone who had MS. She was totally lacking oil. Total. So you can see we did the test. This was low, and this one right here was elevated. So she did not have enough oil in her body. So that is her exact prescription. 4 grams of even primrose, 3 grams of fish oil, 3 grams of flax oil, 5 grams of sunflower oil. What we're finding is that at least 30% of the women in this room have a zinc deficiency. You say, why do I have that for? Well, zinc happens because of wheat and soy. But you need zinc as a cofactor to make the fats for your brain. That's one of the reasons I'm sure downstairs you can check out some of my books, a trans fat book, female hormone book, to help educate you, because you're not going to hear this information really anywhere else. Toxic chemical sabotage, advanced food stressor, fast food, and chemicals. So we have the ability in our practice to do food stressors, advanced testing with a galvanic skin response. This is Chick-fil-A. This is what we found in Chick-fil-A. Sodium benzoate, sodium sulfate, sodium citrate, iron oxidized, caffeine, sodium stearate. I'm not saying caffeine was in it. But there was a lot of sodiums and tartaric acid. A lot of chemicals in food. So you're not doing your family any good if you're going to a fast food restaurant. So what's next? You want to eat food without glutens. Focus on veggies or animal protein. Be aware the average person applies 126 chemicals daily to the body. Hot showers where pores open have a direct lymphatic pathway. Hidden gluten challenge. Anemia and mental problems. Project you can probably think of. You should put a list of half a list of people you know that need this. Cross-reactivity, I am just teasing. Grain-free eating, no gluten-free, and the pulse test. If you get done eating and you feel like your heart is racing or pulsating, it's probably because you're getting a sensitivity to something you just ate. So what do I do? Well, consultations are available. If you don't want to come into our office as a patient, write that number down. There is a charge for it, obviously. We can do blood tests, CBC, blood spot testing, food blood spot testing, what to avoid. And there is a lab that we have access to that we can test you to find out what cross-reactivity that you have. Because you could have a problem with sesame seeds or dairy that's causing your problem, because it originally all started with the gluten challenge. Does that make sense? Did everybody get that number?
Yeah.
So I'll leave that there. And let me just tie all this together for you. So here's the purpose of tonight. The purpose of tonight was to educate you. And I gave you a lot of information. This was like a college level class that I just gave you in 1 hour and a half. Of 35 years of experience. So if you just got a couple nuggets, a couple things. First, try to eat as much organic that you can. Second, for 3 months, avoid gluten. Focus on non-starchy greens. Raw food, steamed food, sauteed food. Animal protein, if you choose to do animal protein, organic. Get a probiotic. Do it 2 or 3 times a week. Look at your blood test. Look at your carbon dioxide level. Is it low? You may need L-glutamine. That's really significant. If you have a chronic health problem that's not going away, stop and see Michaela, or take the number that was down on the screen, the other one, 440-323-3841, and let us do a consultation with you on the phone. Because see, you can start hooked up in a lot of medications. You could be on heart meds because of your bread issue. And I'm not saying bread is bad. I'm just trying to reposition you. I wouldn't have to be doing this talk 10 years ago. We are living in a very toxic environment. I have to congratulate Abraham and his family for doing this. You guys are really blessed. I went downstairs. They have all this awesome produce down there. We're so blessed to have these guys here. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? You want me to go back? Which one did you want?
About 3 back, how much of the fish oil?
Oh, that was for that lady. That was her fish oil.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's not for you. That lady had MS.
Oh.
Okay, question.
Is there a problem with flaxseed oil turning rancid?
Is there a question? The question is, can flaxseed oil go rancid? Yes. Then you can usually taste it in a heartbeat. I keep mine in the refrigerator. Yes.
What about chia seeds?
What about chia seeds? I think they're great, right, Abraham?
Love them.
They're good.
What are they?
Chia.
Oh, chia.
You know, chia pet, chia. We're growing them on top of ceramic heads when we should have been eating them.
So the corn chips, even here, they say gluten-free corn chips, and you're saying they have gluten. So, you know, whether
Corn could be an issue for some people.
okay, so it's not no gluten in corn, or is just
Gluten, if you saw that one of the prolamins was that it does have a form of gliadin in it. So, what I'm sharing with you is, if you have any question about pain and inflammation, etc. in your body, don't negotiate with yourself. For 3 months, you go totally free of all that food. And then you can add the corn chips and see how your body responds.
okay,
So that's even more scientific than trying to do a blood test.
sure.
Did you have a question?
Well, I'm just going to say you might want to emphasize licorice root, not licorice.
Yeah, licorice root is for the adrenal glands. And if you have high blood pressure, don't take it. Yes.
What do you have to say about cruciferous vegetables with low thyroid? I think that's the name.
Okay, the question is, what do I think about cruciferous vegetables with low thyroid? Well, here's what's kind of interesting. A third of the people in the world have low thyroid. 14% of you in this room eat enough fruits and vegetables in a day. So I believe that the whole cruciferous idea of causing low thyroid is something that somebody wrote in Reader's Digest 42 years ago. But I think that low thyroid is more common because of bromine, fluorine, and chlorine from the shower you took and the chlorine that you breathed in. Most people don't eat enough broccoli. How many of you had broccoli in the last 3 days? Well, this is a mustard seed group. But we are to go to the Walmart group. You know what I'm saying? So, but you could negate that by steaming it and cooking it and taking some of the negatives out of it.
Okay,
Bromine, fluorine, and chlorine. Fluorine is in your toothpaste and in your water. Chlorine's in the water, and bromine's in hot tubs.
You know what? I eat gluten-free oatmeal in the morning because
Ma'am, if you eat gluten-free oatmeal and you're feeling fine, then I'd keep on eating it. But you might want to try brown rice.
how many calories of probiotics should you be taking?
I have no idea. Your question was how many colonies you should take. Ask Abraham. He'll give you the answer. I just take a capsule a day.
What's in the capsule?
Whatever they said. I mean, I don't know.
You say tomatoes are nightshade?
Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, and green pepper are nightshades. They are not bad foods. You got to hear what I'm saying. If your liver and gallbladder is compromised, tomatoes and potatoes and eggplant could be an issue for you. So this gentleman could eat tomatoes and not have a problem. I eat tomatoes and not have a problem. But this fine young man over here might have tomatoes and say, oh, honey, my shoulder hurts. I want to tell you a true story. About 5 years ago, we got some tomatoes someplace and my wife's shoulder hurt like crazy. We got some tomatoes from another location and tomatoes didn't hurt. So then you begin to wonder, what are they putting on the tomatoes, even though they might be organic tomatoes, etc. So you got to be really careful. So start listening to your body. Your question over here?
The beets you eat, fresh beets or canned beets?
I eat beets that I get from the mustard seed. I cut the ends off. I peel them. I cut them in half, and I put them in the oven, 400 degrees for about an hour with balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and Celtic sea salt. And I put them on my salad, and I eat them every day. Yes, ma'am.
What about systemic yeast infection?
Her question is, what about systemic yeast infection? When I have somebody that has systemic yeast infection, they usually like to eat wheat products and sugar. We have to go off of wheat products and sugar. We'll use a citric seed extract, and I also use some emulsified oregano to kill it off. And they oftentimes might have a cat at home where they might have parasites.
Armor thyroid. You just mentioned something about it. What's your
The question is with Armor thyroid. Here's what I want to say about medication. Synthroid is T4. T4 has to be converted to T3 in the body. Armor is T4 and T3. I have patients come in my office that take Armor and they have absolutely normal T4, usually elevated T3, and their TSH is low. And the lady that came to see me today, it's the first time I put this together in my brain, her Armor caused her to have hyperthyroid. Go on the internet and type in Armor thyroid TSH and you'll see the same thing that I read today. I'm not telling you to or not to take it, but if you could work around it, it would be to your advantage. You had a question?
Okay, you're working with the gallbladder and the liver issues, so avoid the nightshades. What else?
So our question is liver gallbladder issues. See, your liver and your gallbladder, so your liver's here, it's the detoxifier, and the gallbladder is a reservoir of bile. Anything that is toxic or foreign to the body, the liver has to process. Whether it be trans fat, whether it be some of the chemicals that you put on your body. Now listen, we have the ability to do some testing. You saw some of that testing there with the Chick-fil-A. I had a friend of mine who flew in, he had Lyme's disease, which is very common today. And let me tell you what, there's nothing to fool around with. It's probably pretty popular around here because of all the deer. And if you see that little bullseye, you better make sure that you get that taken care of properly, okay? So going back to the liver, when I tested him and he went home, I told him, I said, you have green dye somewhere. And I said, you've been doing Listerine? He said, no. So he went home and looked at his shaving cream. I never thought about this. the shaving cream on his body was causing his liver to be distressed. You got to hear where I'm coming from in this regard, okay? We're getting exposed from every part of the world right now. From the chemicals you put on your hair, to your lipstick, to your nail polish, to the cream, and you're breathing in cars. And have you noticed cars today? You have a guy next to you that's smoking a cigarette, and your windows and that are closed, but you can smell his smoke because your car ventilating system is like... So we are exposed from everywhere. So you have to 80% of the time you could be really good, and you have a fighting chance. You drink water from a pure source, do as much organic that you can, get enough sleep, make sure you're pooping at least twice a day. If you're not pooping, eat more kale.
Because those red spots you just talked about,
Cherry
I just
hemangiomas?
went through a detox, and all of a sudden, I have those tiny. I was like, wait, where do those come from?
The cherry hemangiomas are a body signal of your liver is compromised.
Okay.
Yes.
You never went back to the probiotics.
You know, in our practice, and you could talk to Abraham because they have probiotics downstairs. The probiotic that we use in our office, I just recommend whatever they say on the bottle. It's usually like one a day, and you do it for about a month. But listen, if you're eating conventional food that has antibiotics in it, that's why I threw up Splenda. Splenda has chlorine in it. Chlorine's a natural, herbicide inside of your body. So you want to just be careful of what you're eating. So like this young lady who possibly asked me the question about yeast really should be on a probiotic.
One of the things with probiotics is I think there are about 3 brands that do not get digested right away. One of them is Culturelle, that you get the full benefit of the probiotic.
Excuse me for a minute. I don't know anything about those products. You can talk to Abraham afterwards if you want to know specifically about a product.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes.
I just heard recently those baby carrots are soaked in chlorine.
That's a good point. I've heard that. I'm sure Abraham's heard that. If you look at it, you notice I said medium carrot.
Yes.
Medium carrots. 1 medium carrot. All carrots are medium. I use red, yellow, orange, pepper.
Okay, so
So you guys have fun tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, now listen, on May 11th we have a seminar at our office. I know that I'll be at the Mustard Seed in the fall. We'll do a female hormones, and I'm not sure what else we're going to be doing. Thanks for coming. Enjoy your summertime.
One more big round of applause.